Legend Total War here, and today we've got a 7-year disaster battle playing as the vampires, going up against the dwarfs. Now, the real challenge here is dealing with those gyrocopters. Skeleton spam is certainly the way to go, I reckon, playing as vampires, because it's just super economical, so rather than having one army that's invincible, you have loads and loads of trash armies that are expendable. That's also really cheap. But one of the most difficult things for skeletons to deal with are flying units, specifically flying units that are anti-infantry that do area effect damage, gyrocopters. So the rest of the dwarf units aren't really that big of a concern. I never really had that much of a concern dealing with dwarfs, apart from when they bring gyrocopters. So that's going to be the real challenge here. Now there's two ways we can do this. We can use Gaze of Nagash to snipe them, and since this is on large unit scale, the Gaze of Nagash will actually maybe be a little bit more effective. But we don't have tons of Winds of Magic, so it could end up draining our reserves. So that's the slow way to go about it, and that's probably the way I'm gonna lean towards doing. The other way of doing it is to rush at them and try to get rid of all of their ground units before the gyrocopters basically destroy our front line. But I'll see about. I'm gonna try sniping the gyrocopters. All right, so let's do this. I reckon you could go either way with this. So this is one of those rare disaster battles where the balance of power is not necessarily bad, but the tactical situation is difficult to deal with, and that's why I chose it. Because sometimes people send me in disaster battles, and the balance of power is bad, but the tactical situation is just stupid. It's like, it's stupidly easy, so I just reject it. And the most important thing, I think, is to cover situations that we haven't covered before. But, you know, having done this for ages now, we're going to get a lot of disaster battles that are more or less repeats. So we're going to keep them in reserve. Just keep them in the back, because they do have other artillery that can hit us. We don't want to be getting shot while we're doing this. Cool. We've also got Arcane Conduit and the Wand of Jet. So that'll give us a bit extra. And of course, they will be coming at us right at the start, because we're on the defense. That's another thing that makes it more difficult. If we were on the attack, it certainly would be easier, I think. Alright, let's see how we go with this. Alright, well, if they just want to stay there, that's fine. So let's see how Gaze of Nagash does. 7 Winds of Magic, how does it perform? Okay, doesn't quite destroy a gyrocopter, but that's still a lot of damage. What are they doing? Okay, it's totally fine if they shoot Isabella. That's a really bad use of their... You know what, I should get a bit further back, just in case. Just be careful, if we get shot by cannons, it's going to do a lot of damage to us. Let's get some more Winds of Magic. Because going into melee with them is fine. And also, there's a good chance they might actually hit their own artillery, their own gyrocopters here. This one's here is not leveled up enough to get it, but yeah, we're not really fast enough to catch it. If I overcast it, it's double the Winds of Magic, and we could miscast, which will absolutely wreck our unit. Still think Wind of Death is a better spell, but Wind of Death doesn't do anything to them. Okay. Try to keep them away from our infantry for now. Alright, they're getting a bit sick of this, and now they're marching towards us. Now, once those gunners get to us here, that's going to be a big problem because, well, they're going to shoot us out of the sky real bloody quick. I'm going to have to advance. Still haven't destroyed any of them. But at the same time, not really taking much damage at the moment, so it's okay. Thing is, they don't always aim at the same gyrocopter. If we could just get rid of one, that'd be good. Alright, now we got guns at us. Gotta get out of there. Get out. Alright, so now I want to go wide and pop down some zombies on the skeleton, on the artillery. Or do I want to Wind of Death this? It's gonna be hard. Do I want to Wind of Death that? I don't want to charge in just yet. And we didn't kill a single one of them either. I don't think it casted. Oh, it did. Okay, we finally got rid of one. Yeah, you just keep chasing after that. Alright, come around here. Oh, look at this opportunity for Wind of Death. No, I'm gonna Wind of Death. Way more damage coming in. If I can time this right. They've blobbed up. Oh, this is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt them, or it's gonna hurt me, though. Okay, attack. So all of their units took a beating on that. Chuck another Gaze and Nagash down, maybe. What the fucking hell are you doing?
The summoning begins.
Now we gotta get rid of the enemy artillery. Let's get over there and pop down some zombies, although I'm pretty much out of magic now. I really feel like I need Isabella down here to lock this down. I mean, I've got no magic anyway. Let's just keeping that busy. Best we do this both at the same time. Yeah, got barely any. We'll have these charge at them, I guess. Alright, now okay, don't get into a big mosh pit because we're still going to be taking quite a bit of damage from them. You know what, actually, Isabella, I need you up. They'll handle the Thunderers because you soften them up a bit. We got to get rid of these goddamn Gyrocopters. Yeah. So yeah, probably best not use Gaze of Nagash because we used it like a bunch of times and we didn't really do any damage, and we used up a lot of Winds of Magic, whereas the Wind of Death killed so many of them. Even though these guys are more valuable, it's just not a very effective spell. Unless you've got tons of Winds of Magic and they're going to be passive, which they weren't. So yeah, that unit's getting wrecked. Alright, at least we're in melee here. Don't need to use the Winds of Magic just yet. Okay, they broke. Good. Just get them away. Get these away. Alright, so they're running away. And Gaze them to gash them. Man, they got to use up all their ammo before we got there, but we finally got there.
Necromancer. We rule the night. Death is coming.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for regions that are calm with Winds of Magic, because they can really hurt the vampire counts, unless you've got absolutely tons of knowledgeable heroes. And it's just fairly early in the campaign, so I can't imagine that they do.
I thirst. Isabella von Karstein.
Just let it go.
Swiftly.
And just ignore their generals. Trying to general snipe as the vampire counts with this kind of army is pointless. You go for their infantry, and then they'll just get the army losses penalty.
Life ends. Yes, Mike has fallen.
Alright, there we go. So it might have actually been better for us to have rushed in and used Wind of Death and just sort of ignored the Gyrocopters, but either way, I think it worked. But what we definitely couldn't do was blob up. Even when a sort of mosh pit was happening over here, we really needed to not just dogpile all of our troops in. I could have them try to kill a lot, because it's not going to wipe them out just because we won the battle. And we can't catch up to these Thunderers. And Spirit Leech is shit, but whatever, we got wins. And then they just end up pushing them off the... Oh no, she's actually doing quite a bit of damage there. Alright. So yeah, the thing with that one was definitely more a case of difficult to deal with, not necessarily an army that's stronger than ours. I don't think that was necessarily fought perfectly. Let's give you money. Maybe that was a bad choice. Oh no, you're not going to get any replenishment here anyway. Advancing with one army on Karakiran. So here's a great thing as well. So we lost a skeleton, right? And then you just raise the dead and get another one. But anyway, that's the end of this one. Hopefully you learned something from that. How to kind of deal with Gyrocopters. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time, fuckers.